Live from Las Vegas, it's theCUBE, covering Discover 2016 Las Vegas. Brought to you by Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Now, here are your hosts, John Furrier and Dave Vellante.
Okay, welcome back everyone. We are live here in Las Vegas for HPE Enterprise, HPE Discover 2016. This is SiliconANGLE Media's theCUBE. It's our flagship program. We go out to the events and extract the signal from the noise. I'm John Furrier, my co-host, Dave Vellante. Our next guest, Omri Gazitt, VP of Products and Services for HPE Helion, and Mark Interrante, SVP of Engineering of HPE Helion. We've got the engineering and product guys here, so we're going to dig into it. Guys, welcome back to theCUBE. Great to see you guys.
It's great to be here.
Congratulations on your announcement, which we'll get into, but I want to just kind of get your thoughts, because we had Bobby on, he's the CMO, marketing guy, but he gave us the high level frame. You guys are in the trenches of the product and engineering side. What's your thoughts on the current cloud drivers right now? Obviously we're hearing about hybrid clouds, the no-brainer. Integration we're seeing as a hot trend. What's your current thoughts on the current cloud drivers around the product?
Yeah. Great to be here and glad to answer that question. So as you heard from Meg today, you're either disrupting or you're being disrupted, right? Every CIO we talk to talks about the imperative, really twin imperatives, to both go faster and do it more efficiently. And for us, when we look at the cloud, we see 7 drivers, each one of them representing an order of magnitude improvement over traditional IT in both agility and in efficiency, in being able to do it for less. 4 drivers for agility include self-service, being able to have compute and storage at your fingertips, being able to provision VMs in minutes as opposed to waiting weeks for a server to get racked. That's a huge order of magnitude shift. Being able to automate infrastructure by treating infrastructure as code and versioning it in source control and being able to replicate an environment exactly in minutes, something that previously took days of manual and error-prone labor. CI/CD and DevOps, the ability to streamline the pipeline going from build to testing to deployment. That's how Amazon ships services every 7 seconds. They do it in an automated fashion. Again, huge order of magnitude increase in velocity, going from shipping every few weeks or every few months to shipping every day if you want to. And then microservices and containers. So again, an order of magnitude increase in the density, the number of app instances you can run on a server to hundreds from tens of VMs, and being able to boot those much, much faster. Not booting in minutes, but booting in seconds. Huge, right? And then below the waterline, we see economic drivers that really are driving down the cost of everything in IT. So consumption-based pricing, being able to pay only for what you use as opposed to paying for everything up front. Being able to treat your infrastructure as an elastic utility. No one wants to buy discrete servers anymore. They want to buy a bunch of nodes that can treat together as a cloud. And systems like OpenStack enable you to take hundreds of nodes and treat them like one big computer that proffers up VMs so that you can run complementary workloads and drive utilization from 20% all the way up to upwards of 80%. And then finally, last but not least, standardizing on hardware. And we're very excited with Synergy there because Synergy ends up automating a lot of the things that are manual today, like firmware updates and being able to resize compute and storage pools so that you can really drive down the number of operators per 1,000 machines that you have, from ratios of 1 to 100 to upwards of 1 to 1,000. That's what cloud represents to us.
Did you get all 7?
No,
I think I missed one. Self-service, automate, DevOps, microservices, economic drivers, standardized was 7. What did I miss?
Utility computing and pay-as-you-go pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, I want to get your thoughts on this as we take it to the next level. Sure. It's funny because we've been doing theCUBE 6 years, so we've seen the entire evolution of the cloud strategy that you guys had. And it's funny, we talked about it yesterday with Bill Franklin and Colby about it. It really hasn't changed. It's been all about IT ops at the end of the day and developers. So it's been about HP's core business.
That's right.
And so give us the update, because people got confused with all the press clippings and we like Amazon, all that stuff. At the end of the day, we've had multiple conversations.
Yes,
it's been the same.
It's
like
we're elaborating.
There's no shifting anything. Yeah, there's one little thing, you shut down the public cloud. I get that. That was just easy.
But we are all about making it better for people to run private clouds, people to build, and application developers to be able to build
applications more quickly. So coming back to when Omri was talking about the 7 factors, this is really about, if you think about it from a developer's point of view, they want instant access through an API to be able to get their core work done. I call it no meetings. What they don't want is meetings to go ask for things. What they want is the illusion of the infinite. They want to have an infinite set of resources that are programmatically and instantly available so that they can go do whatever the core thing is they're trying to innovate on. So they want to focus on their problem, the problem of creating a new piece of value, creating a new workflow, something like that. I think we've been very much kind of on target around continuing step by step and making it easier for enterprises to adopt, create, and manage large-scale computing environments.
You just brought up a really good point. It's so basic, it's so simple, it's so obvious, it's right there in plain sight. That should be the KPI for all success. Less meetings.
Yes,
so
exactly.
meeting calendars direct relate to your IT success.
Absolutely. So it's less meetings, it's also less waste. When you think about the older ways in which we did development, there was a lot of one-off work. One-off hand configuring a server. One-off hand configuring a testing environment. One-off testing something. We are trying to automate and all of the non-value-added and repeatable elements of the development lifecycle so that you can spend almost all of our time, 80, 90% of our time, on the creation and problem solving.
And the important part is, we want to bring those capabilities, those drivers, those benefits, not just to public clouds, but also to clouds that are private, either managed by us, managed by our partners, or managed by our customers. So most of our customers tell us consistently, we want to enjoy the benefits of all these order of magnitude drivers, increases in productivity and decreases in cost, but we want to be able to do it on our terms. We want to be able to do it whether we're running our own data centers or whether it is that someone else, including the hyperscale public cloud providers, are running those for us.
When you say bring them to public clouds, you mean in terms of helping your customers manage the multiple clouds, interclouding sometimes you call it, is that right?
That's exactly right. That is our strategy. Our strategy is what we call hybrid cloud or multi-cloud, which is our customers are going to have IT running everywhere, right? And they want to be able to get those agility benefits that Mark talked about and the efficiency benefits no matter where they're running their IT. And they need to be able to manage all those cloud environments because no customer that we talk to in the Global 2000 says we only have one cloud. They say we have many. We have many regions, we have many providers, we have our own infrastructure, we have our own data centers, and we want to be able to manage all that complexity in a single homogenized way.
I think we actually coined the term here on theCUBE, interclouding at OpenStack with Lou Tucker on theCUBE. When we were talking about the Cisco comparison of internetworking, how that spawned huge growth in the layer 3, 4 of the OSI stack model back in the day. That exploded client server and local area network to wide area networking.
So our customers have multiple different cloud environments and multiple different service endpoints where they're trying to have, whether it's private clouds, virtualized environments, or public clouds. This is, again, coming back to the developer, this is giving them a wider set of specialized compute resources, or specialized algorithmic services, whether it's deep learning or some type of data storage system.
We're debating this. I mean, I always debate it and I always get shot down, but as a Wikibon analyst, I say, hey, this should be a new category called interclouding, but I digress, Dave.
Well, I always use that term. Some of my colleagues don't like it as well, but that's a market for you guys. It's a value proposition that you're bringing. Because, I mean, I haven't said this in a while, but we go to a lot of these events, and generally the overwhelming consensus is what you're saying, is every Global 2000 customer you talk to says, we've got multiple clouds, and then throw in SaaS applications and multiply that by 10. There's one company that sees the world differently. And we go to reInvent every year, and Andy Jess says, very few companies are going to have data centers in the future, right? So we always sort of
and Oracle's on the other end of the spectrum.
That circle, yeah.
the cloud is a data center.
Right. But so
data center.
My question there relates to the 7 items that you mentioned, those sort of force multipliers. Of those, which ones are table stakes? We don't have to go through them individually. And which ones are like fundamental that you have to be there? So for example, from an economic standpoint, do you have to be as cost effective as, say, the lowest, the race to the bottom my argument is you don't have to be because you're adding value elsewhere. Is that a fair premise?
It is, and basically each one of them is relatively independent, but they're all related as well.
Sure.
And taken together, the multiplicative effect is just enormous. It confers really enormous structural advantages to those people who employ it. So for agility, for example, self-service, must have, right? CI/CD, must have. Because without CI/CD, you're still, even if you have an elastic runtime that deals with microservices, you're still deploying, probably once a month or once every few months, and that's not helping you. Why is that not helping you? Because your competitors are deploying new versions of their software to their customers all the time, and they're learning much, much faster than you are. The key here with agility is to reduce your cycle time for learning, because you really want to know what's working and what's not working for your customers, and the only way to do that is to completely automate the deployment pipeline so that you can get new innovation to your customers very, very quickly.
Our other premise is that you have to substantively change the operating model of your clients, and that will, if you can move the needle, you can win.
Absolutely. So it kind of operating model, it's a change of the culture of development and of IT with respect to development. It's talking about how do we reduce the non-value added time to near zero. The obsession is everything is about reducing the time from an idea or a problem to production. The best organizations, that is measured in minutes or hours. Because once you've got the idea, now we're going to go problem solve it together, and then we should be able to materialize that very rapidly. It's the learning loop that Omri mentioned. And it's figuring out how do we have algorithmic systems to help us with the detection and understanding of the behavior of these complex systems.
Yeah, I totally agree with the operating model. And one of the things that's factoring in is also the developer community and the ecosystem. Before we get there, but I want to, since I got you guys here, the gurus, I posted a comment on the crowd chat yesterday. It got some pickup. I kind of tweeted at the HPE_cloud handle, but actually typed HPE_Helion, but I was told it's HPE_cloud now, the Helion handle. Anyway, no one from the group responded, so I'm assuming either they're busy or I kind of stirred up the hornet's nest a little bit. I'll read it to you and I'll get your thoughts. Question for HPE Helion, HP Cloud. The Docker Containers as a Service model competes with Cloud Foundry Platform as a Service model. That may or may not be true, but we can debate that. If so, when would a customer choose one versus the other? And does the underlying hardware really matter in either scenario?
I'd love to answer that question.
Yeah.
So we actually don't believe in, in this or that. We believe in this and that. And in fact, with our Staccato software, we were the first to introduce a Docker-based runtime into Cloud Foundry. And a lot of our customers tell us, we love Cloud Foundry's build pack-based deployment model, where you basically take an operating system image and composite an application with all of its dependencies, and that's the deployable unit. We don't want to think about all the machinery underneath that. We have another set of customers that say, no. We really want to control every last detail of that, of the container crafting, right? They want to be able to very carefully layer each one of the layers of that container, and then they have a deployable image using a Docker image. We support both of those pipelines, both of those deployment methodologies, and so it's not an either or, it's this and that. So
it's a choice model.
Exactly, and when somebody tells you that Cloud Foundry and Docker don't really play well together, that to me is mostly posturing. Certainly, Docker has a big vision around container management, and they think about container as a service.
They got a lot of VC money. They got to post a business model sometime.
And we respect that, and we respect deeply the work that they've done at the Docker engine level, the Docker Trusted Registry. They have a lot of great stuff. But our philosophy is that you can use Docker as a container image format and Docker as an engine and the Docker Trusted Registry and be able to merge that together with the PaaS, the PaaS capabilities, which really add a whole bunch of maturity, like being able to do zero downtime deployment and application versioning and rollback and, load-based auto-scaling, and being able to patch an entire cluster full of applications as opposed to patching each snowflake. All these capabilities, super important. Log aggregation for compliance. There are all these mature capabilities that a platform like Cloud Foundry can bring to you. And if you marry the strengths of Docker with the strengths of Cloud Foundry, you actually get something that's really good. And that has been our technical strategy with the Helion Staccato product.
Thank you for answering that. It's fantastic. And it's a good answer, right? It's the right answer. Choice, pick your scenario, outcome based on whatever the environment dictates. All right, we didn't even get to the announcement yet, so we have a little bit of time left. We're supposed to wrap up here, but you got some announcements. The Helion Cloud Suite, Cloud System 10, Staccato 4.0, and the Cloud Line 3100 servers. Pick your favorite child to talk about.
Let's talk about Staccato. That's really the big one, and this is, we could tag team this one because this has been a project that we both had a lot of passion around. And so, as Omri was talking about, it's Cloud Foundry in offering, this is the next version of Staccato, and it's offering a multi-cloud control plane. So we now our product will be able to have this run on VMware, Azure, AWS, and OpenStack. So you can have managed clusters in their own way. You can manage multiple clusters through one thing. So it gives Cloud Foundry developers who are interested in that paradigm the ability to really run on multiple hardware. But there's a lot of other things too.
Yep. We have the Helion Code Engine, which is a full CI/CD pipeline that's built on top of an open source project called Concourse. So that really gives you a falling off a log easy way to create CI/CD pipelines that from a merge into a Git repository through a build, test, deploy cycle into a Cloud Foundry environment. And last but not least, we basically have the ability to match microservices, this new world of building stateless applications, with all of your enterprise data sources. Because as we all know, applications come and go, but data lives forever. And most of our customers tell us, you know, our data is not going to move to Redis or MongoDB like overnight. That's not how we work. We have all of our data in Oracle, and Sybase, and SQL Server. How are you going to help us with that? So we've made massive investments in really bringing the world of microservices and making it work with existing data sources. So with all of that, Staccato is a component of the Helion Cloud Suite, which we announced. Helion Cloud Suite is taking all of the great software that we have, OpenStack, Staccato with Cloud Foundry, and all the IT operations management portfolio, packaging it together. And then Cloud System is taking that package of software and making it work great on our hardware, whether that be blades, DL and SL lines, so rack-mounted hardware, or Synergy. That's in essence those three things: Staccato, Helion Cloud Suite,
having
and
a
then
composable architecture.
We are.
There you go.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Love that word. I think the CMO should be all over that word. That's a really big, and it's broad, and it's up and down the stack. It's got great implications.
And I want to relate it back to the cloud drivers because that's where we started, right? The whole point is to be able to bring those agility drivers, self-service, automation, CI/CD and DevOps, and microservices and containers, all to a single suite of software that enables you to take advantage of those drivers no matter whether you're running in a public cloud, in a managed cloud, or a private cloud. That's in essence our vision.
Is Bill here? Bill Hill attending? I haven't had a chance to meet up with him yet because we've been so busy.
No, he's not here. He's not here today.
Okay. So Bill and you guys have been working really hard, and we've been watching the journey of the Helion group. Yep. And I just want to say you guys are doing a great job. Congratulations, and this is a great announcement. Kind of pulls it all together. It goes to the next level. But I want you to take a minute to share with the folks watching who might not know what you guys have done. I just laid out the product announcement. What should they know about HPE Helion Cloud that they don't know? From the guys running the machinery out in the engineering and products.
So I guess, so from my point of view, the one thing that we are passionate about bringing the power of open source innovation communities to enterprise developers and enterprise IT. The innovation that we see across the entire spectrum of open source is fantastic. We're part of those communities, and we're trying to make those products packaged, contained, and composable for bringing modern development practices and modern tools and technologies to the enterprise developer.
Omri?
Yeah, I'll plus one that one. Really, it's all about belief system. You know, is your belief system compatible with your vendor's belief system? And we have two simple beliefs. Hybrid cloud is the right model for the enterprise, and multi-vendor open source ecosystems win out over closed ones in the long run. And that shapes everything we do. our investments in OpenStack, in Cloud Foundry, in being able to run on AWS and Azure and all of those environments, all of those are shaped by hybrid cloud and open ecosystems.
And I loved your comment about no meetings. The less meetings, that means you're doing well with your IT infrastructure. And if you have less meetings, you have more time to watch CUBE videos. So thanks for watching. Guys, thanks for sharing the insight here on theCUBE. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the update on Helion Cloud. We're here at HP Discover Live. This is theCUBE. I'm John Furrier, Dave Vellante. We'll be right back. You're watching theCUBE.